Musk made over $150 million in the past few weeks without even lifting a finger. But that is a favorite American pastime among our fellow billionaires, right? But the real issue here is that he did it while breaking the law, and the question is whether there will be any consequences for it.
No.
Don't, Cenk, spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert.
Yeah, our audience was on pins and needles. Is a rich man gonna get prosecuted in America? Boy, that's a big mystery.
Now, he recently announced that he now owns 9.2% in Twitter. He's a major shareholder for Twitter. That's likely gonna come with some other concerns, but let's focus on what he failed to do here and which laws he broke. Elon Musk was 11 days late in publicly declaring he had amassed a large stake in Twitter. That omission may have earned him $156 million, according to a half dozen legal and securities experts. That's because of a 50-year-old law that requires that investors notify the Securities and Exchange Commission when they surpass a 5% stake in a company. Musk reached that benchmark on March 14th, according to the filings, but he made his public disclosure only on Monday of this week. In between, though, he continued to buy stock at the price of around $39 per share, bringing his total stake to 9.2%. After his disclosure, Twitter's share price rose roughly 30% and is now above $50 per share. You guys understand what he did there? Doing the public disclosure increases the value of the shares. He was buying the shares at a much lower value, and then he announced. You get what I'm saying? Like he got it at a discount, and he's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to disclose immediately. He failed to do it. And here's a fun graph showing you what that looked like. So you see it kind of flat before Elon Musk had made the public disclosure, and then once he makes the public disclosure, the share value shoots up.
Yeah, so I don't know what the Elon fanboys are called. Are they Musk stans or Elon stans? Anyways, so those guys, I guarantee you right now, are screaming into their computers or their iPhones or whatever. No, this is smart business, it's smart business.
He's breaking federal laws.
Okay, so first of all,
okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you break federal laws? Let's see you do it. Let's see what happens to you. Break a federal law, seriously. Commit fraud, financial fraud, do something like that and see if the federal government, A, treats you in the same way, but more importantly, if people are gonna be calling you smart.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be calling you a criminal. We're kidding, don't actually do it, you'll go to jail. Elon Musk has no chance of being punished, certainly in any meaningful way. But guys, what I was getting to is, he's ripping you off. Because if he announced when he was supposed to at 5%, you could have gotten in on Twitter too. So if you're part of the folks who are buying stocks online now, sometimes en masse, etc., and you're part of that crew loves Elon Musk, but not, of course, not all of them, but a lot of them do. But he rips you off on a regular basis more than anybody does. He does the Bitcoin, manipulation, and you guys go in when it's, high,
right?
And then he sells it,
and then he dumps the
stock,
and
he dumps it, and then it crashes. He's taking money out of your pocket. In this case, on Twitter, if you had known when you were supposed to know, you could have also been part of that rise up on Twitter, and you could have made money off of it. But he kept a secret because he wanted to make more money for himself, even though it was against the law. But nonetheless, I guarantee you, the Elon fans who are probably into Bitcoin and probably into investing are gonna go, yes, Elon's so smart for ripping me off. Wait, what? Yeah, it doesn't matter, I don't care about facts.
No, I'm convinced that his biggest supporters on social media love the fact that he's been manipulating crypto. They've benefited from it, which is why they're huge Elon Musk stans.
Who knows,
right?
Who knows?
But either
honestly,
way,
look,
I don't care. I don't care if he's made you money. I don't care if he's stolen money from your pocket. The point here is he broke the law and he will have no consequences, right? Some legal experts are like, he might get a slap on the wrist, maybe he might pay a fine, but he made an additional $156 million in 11 days while breaking the law. If anyone else had done that, if an ordinary person who's not already tremendously wealthy played a game like that, oh, they'd be in prison immediately. Like, they'd be indicted, there would be a serious trial about it, but no, it's Elon Musk, so he's above the law, much like other billionaires.
Now, so look, we say that as a general rule. In this particular case, this law is built to be broken by rich people because you have to have 5% of a public corporation, which is a massive amount of money for almost any corporation, let alone one as big as Twitter. So that's why the fine is only a couple $100,000, because if you're buying 5% of a company, you're buying beyond 5% of a public corporation, you're always gonna be dealing in millions of dollars and probably hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So a fine of $100,000 is a joke. It's a total and utter joke. Elon Musk should just even pay it just to get rid of it because it'll cost him more for lawyer fees, right? But if it was a big fine, then he would use his team of lawyers and it would drag out for years and years, and then they do a settlement of like 1 or 2% of his ill-gotten proceeds 3 or 4 years from now. That's why the rich get away with everything in America. But guys, outside of television and mainstream media, everyone knows this. There's a two-tier justice system. If you're middle class or poor in America, you're screwed. If you're rich, you can get away with almost anything, and we all know it.
And remember, our money, American taxpayer money, went toward the research and development for Tesla, for what Elon Musk has profited handsomely off of. But we as US taxpayers do not own equity in Tesla at all.
Yeah.
And that's another way that billionaires, people who are already incredibly privileged and positions of power get treated very differently from ordinary people like us, right? Like, while we keep hearing over and over again that students who are buried in student loan debt need to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and suck it up, we then have all of these weird justifications for the bad behavior that we see from people like Elon Musk, where they take complete use of our resources, we get nothing back in return. And it's totally fine, right?
So I was on a right-wing podcast recently, Patrick Bet David. It was a really good conversation. I'm really happy with it. But this issue of Elon Musk came up and the subsidies. And I said, wait, now you guys are all businessmen, I'm a businessman. If somebody invests into you, they would normally get equity and they would get a return on that investment. So how come when the government gives Elon Musk this giant subsidy, you don't think we should get equity in Tesla? And they said, because to be fair to them, they were honest. And they said, no, you're right. That is how business works. We probably should have gotten equity because that's the taxpayers. No, but the taxpayers always get screwed because the politicians just give to the rich. What was the amount of that subsidy?
I don't remember the exact amount.
It was in the hundreds of millions.
It was a lot of money, yeah.
You
know why? Because private investors didn't want to take the risk of investing in this electric car venture that Elon Musk wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
You guys don't understand how much US taxpayers have provided the seed money for the successful corporations that we see in this country, which then turn around and screw us over by refusing to pay their taxes, by funding the worst politicians to ensure that we continue to live in this constant state of deregulation that again screws over ordinary people like us. Like, it's messed up. That's how this system works. This country is, it's a democracy sort of. In reality, there's complete corporate rule.
Yeah, we have oligarchs that run this country as well. And the last thing is, guys, if you are Elon fans and you're right wingers, make up your mind, because he benefited from a massive government subsidy. So are you in favor of big government or are you against it? Because no one has been helped by big government more than Elon Musk. That's just a fact. So if you think that was great, then fly your big government flag proudly. Just don't be hypocrites. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.